Okay, so let's get started. So hello, everyone. Welcome to the Environmental Research webinar. So today is a special session to introduce what M-LEEaD Center is and Integrated Health Science Core is, and we will be highlighting the resources and opportunities our center offer to support your research. And so that's why this is a more information session we do every year. So welcome to today's webinar. So my name is Kyun Park. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Epidemiology and Environmental Health Sciences. I am very delighted to have you join us today. So this webinar series is sponsored by the Michigan Life Stage Environmental Exposure and Disease Center, also known as M-LEEaD. So we also, extend a special welcome to new students, staff, and faculty and scientists who are interested in environmental health. So we have our center director and integrated health science core leaders as speakers today. So it is my pleasure to introduce our center director, Dr. Dana Dolinoy. Dana, you're...
Yes. Great, wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Park. And thank you to all who are presenting and attending here today. It has been my pleasure to serve as the director of the M-LEEaD Center. And just to start off, we wanted to define what M-LEEaD means. This is the Michigan Center on Life Stage Environmental Exposures and Disease. And you can see our research there, our research mission on the right is to accelerate research that defines impacts of environmental exposures during vulnerable life stages and to promote the translation of findings to improve clinical and public health intervention for the mitigation of disease. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today in this webinar, is one of our cores that is essential for the translation of research to impact. Our M-LEEaD Center is headquartered in the School of Public Health, but we have members from across the Ann Arbor and Dearborn campus, as well as academic affiliate members from Michigan State University. And we make up one of a number of about 20 different environmental health sciences core centers that are located across the United States. These core centers are funded by the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, which is one of the branches of the National Institute of Health. And M-LEEaD is in our third 5-year cycle. We have started year 4 of 5 years of this third cycle. And that means that in the next upcoming 6 months to a year, we are going to be submitting what's called a competing renewal. And one of the things that the Integrated Health Sciences Core is interested in talking with you all about towards the end of this session is what's working well or what might you like to see more of in the future. And that will help us plan for our competing renewal that will hopefully help fund our fourth 5-year cycle out into all the way into the 2030s. And so you can see here, we're joined by centers across the United States, but we really work quite closely with a number of our Midwestern centers. We have a sister center in Detroit at Wayne State University, as well as other centers located in the Midwest at the University of Illinois, Chicago, and the University of Illinois, Iowa, Cincinnati, Louisville, and the University of Kentucky. And we also have really strong partnerships through our community engagement core at other centers, including Emory University, and research related to firefighter, PFAS, and occupational health at the Arizona Center as well. So thanks. Next slide, please. And this is one single pictorial graphic of what M-LEEaD represents. We are a series of cores, programs, and activities. And you can see the cores on the outside of this circle. At the top, we have the PODS core, which is the Pan-Omics and Data Science core. This is a core that helps integrate all sorts of omics data, including genomics, epigenomics, and metabolomics. Then on the left side, we have the exposure assessment core. This core connects our members with different laboratories across campus, as well as external laboratories to help get things measured in a number of biological and environmental matrices. And then at the bottom, we have our community engagement core, which helps link our M-LEEaD members with various members of the community, including across Southeast Detroit. And then finally, on the right side is the core that leads these webinars that we have on Tuesday afternoons, the Integrated Health Sciences core. And you're going to hear a lot more about that core as we continue on. In the middle of this, go back. In the middle of the circle, we have a couple of our programs. These include our pilot project program, which provides funding for small research projects. And these research projects are encouraged to connect with the cores as well as to engage with our community engagement core. We also have on the top right there a career development program that helps fund center scientists who get to learn more about our center, but also generally supports early career and mid-career scientists who are interested in engaging in environmental health research. And then on the top left, we have our translational research program, which is a series of research teams, which I'll introduce on the next slide. And finally, on the bottom right, we have our administrative core that just helps ensure that the center is running smoothly and efficiently. So on the next slide, you'll see a number of our core and program leaders there. And what I really wanted to highlight on this slide is our translational research program, which is led by Vasantha Padmanabhan, the Associate Director. And you can see there that we have 3 distinct translational teams, the first being cumulative exposures and population health. We are broadly interested in how the environment affects health, so not only toxicant exposures, but other things like lifestyle choices, diet, as well. And so that is all housed within cumulative exposures and population health. Second, we have our natural hazards and health team led by Toby Lewis and Karina Grunwald. This looks at things like extreme weather, heat, and how these affect health. And then finally, we have our toxicological mechanisms and health outcomes, which helps get at the why environmental exposures are linked to disease by looking at cells and inside the body. Okay, the next slide. And then I wanted to just end with the overall aims of our grant, which is our roadmap and how we are grounded and how we think about the work that we do. You can see in bold some of the action terms that we think about. So in aim 1, we're integrating and building upon the existing infrastructure that's here at the University of Michigan and throughout our state to try to accelerate the understandings of environmental exposures and impacts on human health. And then in aim 2, we're fostering integration, coordination, and cooperation with an eye towards improving strategy for environmentally induced disorders. And then third, we are building scientific capacity, especially through early and mid-career stages, to engage in research that addresses innovative and emerging questions in environmental health. And then last, but certainly not least, we are engaging with effective communities via partnerships through our community engagement core, which works really closely with the Integrated Health Sciences core to translate research findings into action and to promote environmental health. And so with that, I'm going to pass the Zoom baton on to my partner, Dr. Marie O'Neill, who leads our Integrated Health Sciences core and is going to tell you a little bit more about the important work of this core. Marie?
Thank you so much, Dana. So happy to share this dazzling slide about our core with the personnel, many of whom you see on this Zoom listed here. I co-lead it with Kyun Park and Lu Wang from Biostatistics. And I wanted to mention that we will be changing our name in an upcoming iteration of our center to the Translational Research Support Core. Many of our functions will remain the same, but as I'll talk about with the next slides, a big point of our core is to support scientists who want to translate research into action or respond to community concerns and provide the best advice we possibly can to ensure the integrity of the science. Next slide, please. So with that, our main aim is to facilitate interaction to strengthen the connection between research and community and in practice. So to support this, we facilitate multi-directional interaction among scientists, clinical researchers, and practitioners, as well as environmental health practice professionals and community, leading to enhanced translation of our research findings into public health practice. And the current iteration, 5-year period of our center builds on successes from the past where we've collaborated very closely with the Community Engagement Core led by Amy Schultz and Natalie Sampson. Next slide, please. So the aims of our core, which you'll hear more about, are first to provide consulting services and statistical support to ensure that cutting-edge statistical methods are applied to environmental health research. 2, as part of this seminar series and other activities, we aim to educate and train investigators who are part of our center to ensure the quality of the research is high, and we also provide specific guidance on how to utilize human and animal biobanks from prior funded studies. Our third aim is to promote collaborations that foster translational research, and one way we do that is to have 2 annual workshops, one focused on environmental statistics and the other on environmental health practice. Finally, we aim to catalyze multi-directional partnerships with practitioners and community members to ensure that our research is connected to locations where people live, work, pray, and play throughout the life course. I will now turn it over to my colleague, Dan McConnell, who will tell you about some of the other services our core provides. Dan?
Thank you. There we go. It's my pleasure today to represent the class laboratory. We've had a long history of working with this group and in support, mostly support. We do 3 major tasks for this group. We build and design blood collection or biosample collection kits, and we ship them out to sites for collection. We do repository storage and shipping of samples in and out of the laboratory to other investigators. And in many cases, we do the analytical assays right there in the lab. So we build kits, we store samples, and we run assays. Can I have the next slide, please? The kit building. There we go. Here's an example of one of the kits that we typically build. We have a number of sample types. This is a kit that would collect, I can see serum because they're red cap tubes, plasma because they're purple top tubes, and the yellow tubes represent urine. So we are able to collect many different biomaterials. We use a barcoding system that has unique barcodes for each individual number so that we can go back and track them to the individual project. All these are then placed in the biobank, which is in the next slide. In the lab, we have, next slide. There we go. We've got a number of -80 freezers. We've got liquid nitrogen storage. We also offer room temperature storage. These freezers are on a backup generator, so they've got 24/7 both monitoring and backup. And we're able to offer free storage for this group's users because we purchased a freezer on their behalf. And as it says here, we're open for visitors. You can come on by and tour our facility at any time and see how we're storing samples and the way that they're kept safe and locked and secure. Next slide. We do a number of different assays. They range from automated analytes from a number of different platforms, Siemens Centaur, the Roche Cobas machines, which are typically used in hospital environments. But we've been able to convert some of the assays on the old Centaur to assays that we developed in-house. We also have other analyzers that do more routine things like glucose and hemoglobin, lipids. We also do a wide variety of ELISA assays. Some of them have been developed in-house, and we're also able to offer now some multiplex assays, which allow us to do multiple sample analysis on a single collection, on a single sample. Very cost-effective and intense. And I think that's it. So I'll pass it on.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Lingxuan, and today I'd like to introduce the statistical consulting services offered within our core. So our core provides a wide range of support for statistical questions and data analysis needs. We build upon the University of Michigan's strong foundation in grant development, study design, and data analysis. So for many type of services, we can refer our members to the existing statistical consulting resources, such as the Michigan Center for Health Research, MICHR, UM's Clinical and Translational Science Award Program, and the Statistical Analysis of Biomedical Education and Research, SABRE unit. In our core, we do not want to duplicate their services. Of course, we can do the same thing, but we also want to provide some more targeted, advanced, and personalized statistical consultation. So we want to help our members to apply the cutting-edge statistical tools to advance their research. Next slide, please. So here we have some examples of using advanced statistical tools and some topics that are particularly relevant in environmental health research, such as the exposure response curves, like including using the non-parametrics and parametric or functional analysis to analyze the non-linear or complex associations between the exposure and the response. We can also evaluate the special patterns of environmental exposures. Suppose like the exposure is only restricted to some areas or to some certain cities, and you want to see the associations between the exposures and outcome. And then we can also help you to handle the high dimensional data problem, which is common in genetic studies and genomic studies. And if you have data from multiple sources, like from questionnaires from different universities, we can help you to use the data integration methods to integrate the data from multiple sources. And nowadays, I know causal inference is still a hot topic in many research areas. We can help you to establish the causal relationships using the causal inference framework and some causal inference statistical tools such as instrumental variables. And we can check whether there's some key causal assumptions still hold in your studies. And also, if you have some questions about the missing data in your studies, or like including the different missing data types and patterns, which is also a common thing in observational studies. The statistical consultants are provided without a fee to the center members. So every Monday from 2 to 4 p.m., I will hold office hours in the conference room. Yes, here's a flyer for our statistical consulting services. I'm gonna see everyone who have questions, like 24 p.m. in 6675 at page 1. Please go back to the previous slide, please. Yeah, and if you have any questions that you can want to set up an appointment with us, you can reach out to Dr. Luang, which is also the co-lead of IHSC, professor of biostatistics. And also you can directly shoot an email to me. Yeah, I attach my both the email address here. Next slide, please. Okay, so yeah, other than this consulting services we already mentioned, like for the Monday afternoon office hours, our course also offers bootcamp lectures started last year on some practical and frequently asked topics. For example, in our previous lectures, we covered the topic of statistical power and sample size analysis, which is essential for preparing grant proposals. Also, the data visualization topics, focusing on commonly used plots in published research papers, discussing the strengths and weaknesses of different kinds of plots and what messages these different plots are designed to convey. And here I attach a QR code, which give you a link to a Google Sheet that you can share the topics and then maybe the statistical tools that you are interested in and you want us to give a lecture on. And finally, I'd like to highlight our annual environmental symposium. This is a full-day event featuring a keynote speaker presenting novel statistical methods for environmental research, followed by a showcase of talks from local researchers and a panel discussion to foster collaboration and exchange of ideas. Through these services and the events, our goal is to strengthen the collaboration between biostatistics and the environmental sciences and support your research from study design to advanced analysis. Okay. Thank you, and I look forward to working with many of you.
Thank you so much, Lingxuan, and I'm hoping folks will sign up to meet with Lingxuan on Mondays if you need to, and even you might consider him and or Dr. Luang as co-authors if you learn some things that rise to that contribution as you discuss your analytical questions. So I'm next going to take a bit of a deeper dive into one of the functions of our core, which is to run these environmental health practice workshops once a year. We do provide some consultations in environmental health practice when community and other folks write to us. That can be for researchers, communities, and others. And then these workshops are intended to enhance professional skills on communication, leadership. We entertain public comments, and we aim to entertain community members' thoughts and integrate them with our work. Last year, we had a workshop on building solidarity for clean and affordable water in Michigan. And the next slide shows some of our other past practice workshops, many of which are recorded and posted on our M-LEEaD website. If Robin gets a chance to put that link in the chat, that would be great. One thing our core would really appreciate, I've been looking at the participant list. I see many M-LEEaD members and leaders, but we are considering the topic for this year's workshop, and we have a wonderful stakeholder action board that meets quarterly where the participants have identified environmental health priorities, but we'd be delighted if you have any thoughts or ideas about an important current theme in environmental and public health practice, if you would just add that to the chat or to the Q&A, and we'll keep track of it to deliberate on these ideas at our next core meeting. So with that, I will turn the microphone over to Dr. Park.
Hey, yeah. So again, I am Sungkyun Park, and I am a co-leader of this integrated health science core. And as you see me like every other week, and I am hosting this environmental research seminar series and webinar series. And so today's this session is a part of this environmental research webinar. And so this is a interdisciplinary forum for center scientists and faculty student and staff member to come together and learn about and discuss a wide range of environmental health issues. And this is the list of the seminar we had last year, and we invited speaker from covering the various interesting topics. And for example, fluoride exposure and school bus and children's health, nanoparticles, early life lead exposure, and mitigation, lead exposure and alterations in placenta and embryo weight, neurotoxic environmental chemicals, and ecological consequences of road salt use. Next slide, please. And so we also have a interesting seminar lined up for at this time. So as we meet the Tuesday from noon to 12:50, and you will be receiving a seminar announcement from Meredith, and she will be sending this seminar information. And so this seminar all will be virtual to allow people from outside of University of Michigan can join us. And so this year, our speaker series is that 2 weeks ago, we already had Dr. Lydia Minguez-Alarcon from Harvard, who talk about chemicals and non-chemical stressors and human reproductive health. And also, we will have Dr. Sarah Stein, who is a research assistant professor at HBHE, and Yali Luo, a postdoctoral fellow at IHSC. Both are this year's center scientists. So congratulations and welcome to join this M-LEEaD Center. And they will be presenting their research on November 4th, and Dr. Luo for winter 2026. So we are looking forward to their research and interesting the idea. And also on November 18, Dr. Brittany Baumert from USC will talk about the PFAS and weight regain after bariatric surgery, which I found very interesting, and so hopefully we can learn new research from Dr. Baumert on November 18. So next slide. We also have a important activity collaborating with the community engagement core, which is the residents and researchers webinar series. So this webinar series also take place at the same time this Tuesday, noon to 12:50. And this is moderated by CAG core co-director, Dr. Natalie Sampson. And so you will be also receiving this webinar series announcement from Meredith. So the goal of this forum is to bring community and academic partners together to address this environmental justice issue. And you can see on the bottom, last year, actually we did more than this too, but just because of the space, and we are providing these 2 webinar series, and one for plastics policy and public health, another for climate change and resilience in the community. But we also have several other interesting researchers and residents webinar. Next slide. So this year we have other interesting topics lined up, and including wildfire smoke and creating clean air environment through youth participatory action research. and another one is artificial turf and children's environmental health. So please stay tuned, and CAC and Dr. Natalie Sampson will be running this residents and researchers webinar. Next slide. So this is our M-LEEaD, the YouTube channel. And before we come to this, the webinar, and actually our current number of subscribers is over 100, which is a great number. So you can find all this webinar series, but not only this Tuesday webinar series, but also the practice workshop and statistics symposium and all other M-LEEaD events and workshop and symposium will be recorded and will be posted in this the M-LEEaD YouTube channel. So please go there, and then you can find if you miss any event. Next slide. And our most watched webinar video, you can see from here that last year we had Dr. Matt Campen from University of New Mexico, who talked about this nanoplastics and human health. And this is just less than 1 year, and we already received over 76,000 views. And then our second most watched webinar is from Dr. Luke Montrose, who talked about this wildfire smoke exposure and adverse health outcome about 3 years ago. And then this was also has over 50,000 views. So this is our way to promote the recent environmental health research, and we will continue this activity and then promote our center scientists and our colleagues who are doing excellent environmental research through this venue. So this is, I believe, this is all the presentation we have, and yeah, we have several questions on the Q&A. So I will read this question, and hopefully our speaker can. So anyone who can answer, please unmute your microphone, and then please answer this. The first question is, what kind of pre-application project design advice can I receive? Help with study planning to confirm sample size is significant. Assistance with map-based visualization. I think this is something Marie and Lingxuan can answer this.
Yeah, I think I can answer these three questions. So for the first one, the pre-application project, the design is like usually, I think at the start of the project, we want to see some associations between the exposure and outcomes. Then we need to decide how do you address the exposure? Do you take it as a continuous variable or just a binary indicator, like some patient get exposed or not? And also based on your outcome type, whether it's a sort of outcome or you want to measure the change of gene expressions or the change of level of biomarkers within the blood samples. So based on different outcome types, we're gonna give you some advice on what kind of models you should use, and also based on what kind of data you want to collect, whether it's from observational study or you're going to have repeated measures on the same subject over a period of time. So I think a lot of factors can affect the design of the statistical analysis. So once you have an idea of what kind of association you want to see and what kind of data you are preparing to collect, we can give advice on like what models you should use and what are the statistical concerns that might occur in your study. And for the second project, for the second question, the confirm the sample size is significant. So I think it's like, I think you want to ask like, suppose you fit the model and you see, do you want to see the significance of a like coefficient or something? So usually the sample size is sometimes this like we have a predefined sample size. You already collected some samples, and you fit some models, and you want to see the power of detecting some significant effects from the sample you collected, or you are applying for a grant, then you have some pre-estimated effect size obtained from the existing literature, and you want to argue that in this grant proposal, I will collect this amount of samples, and this amount of samples are good enough to detect this effect size based on the model and the study design. Of course, we can help you with all the details in detecting calculating the sample size and the statistical power in your studies. And for the third one, assistance with map-based visualization, yes, I myself is doing a lot of work doing this like visualization based on map. If I can share my screen, if your study is based on some US map, then we can give you some plots based on the coloring of the states, regions, counties. And I myself we did some geospatial studies based on kidney transplant data, so we can color different centers based on their location, of course, states, counties. So yes, yeah, I'll stop share here. So yes, the different kinds of visualization, different levels of geospatial information can be incorporated in these plots. Thank you.
Yeah, so my suggestion is that as Lingxuan introduced, so we have this statistical consultation, the kind of office hour every Monday from 2 to 4 p.m. So when you have any statistics question, or even study design issue, and if this time works for you, then please come to this the consultation place, and then the Lingxuan can help you. Or if this doesn't work, or if you are looking for the more direct the assistance, and then please reach out to us, and then this is a part of our service to provide how to make a best design for any the population health study and or statistical consultation. So you can email us, and then we can set up another time and then discuss more about specific of your study. Okay.
Yes. If I could, yeah. I would just like to add one thing, which is the other component of the services is we can at times refer you to other resources on campus. There are, libraries here, those of you who may be new, who have GIS capabilities, especially if you need sort of a longer term, ongoing type of collaboration for the work that you're doing. So that's one role of our center, is not to duplicate, but to, help refer folks to other resources.
Okay, our second question is, what chemical analysis can class lab perform on cord blood sample? So Dan, can you answer to this? And then the Dana can follow up after that.
Cord blood, we've done a number of cord blood sample collections in the past, and more or less we treat it like serum. So just about any analysis that's appropriate for cord blood we'd be able to do. Certainly we've done things like hemoglobin and bilirubin, but it'd be worth talking about and understanding what the needs were of the project to see if we could identify some analytes that were important. But cord blood is treated pretty much like normal serum in our analysis, in our assays. Some of the instruments have a little difficulty with it because its viscosity is different than serum, but in many cases, dilution on the onset can reduce that viscosity to something that the automated instruments can use. The ELISAs, the hand ELISAs are really very little problem with that. So I'm open to any suggestions or any interest in any compounds that you would have, you'd like to have measured.
Thank you so much, Dan, for answering that from the perspective of the class lab. And thanks, Devin, for asking the question. We, depending on the needs of the research, we could also refer you to one of our other cores, the exposure assessment core, that would have a variety of different options, including in-house collaborations with our chemists here, as well as referrals to other laboratories, including NSF International, which is headquartered here in Ann Arbor. A lot of our M-LEEaD researchers have measured things like PFAS and lead and other metals in biological matrices, including blood, also urine and other things with NSF International. So happy to chat with you more about that or refer you to Dr. Stuart Batterman, who leads the exposure analysis core.
Good. Okay. And then I don't know. So the Marie, you already answered to other question, but I think it's beneficial to the verbally cover that question as well. So the research with high risk population with occupational risk, farm workers, industrial workers, and health impact. And then we will consider this for practice workshop and actually one of our colleagues who are working on this farm workers and the environment and occupational risk factor and then potential health impact. And then we also have the Center for Occupational Safety and Health funded by NIOSH, and then so focusing more on occupational health and then among the workplace hazard. And then this M-LEEaD Center and then this the COSI, NIOSH, the center work closely, and then we are so concerning the issue of this environmental and occupational health topics. And the final question we see is that are this video available outside of U of M? And yes, we this video, and not only today's webinar, but also all other videos are available at the YouTube channel as well as our M-LEEaD website. So please check this website. Okay. Thank you very much. And I think this is all we have today. So please, if you have any additional question, please reach out to us and we will be happy to answer any other question you have. Thank you very much. And we hope to see you in our next webinar series.